Okay, we should continue. So, where were we? Okay, so we have that bitmap file header. It's implemented in here. That's the first structure we need, and the next structure we need is I'm gonna implement the v4 and v5 header, I guess. Should I just have them? What's the difference actually? The difference between bitmap v4. So the last thing in bitmap v4 is the gamma. Okay. And bitmap v5 has gamma, then intent, profile data, profile size, and some alignment stuff. How? I'm thinking, should I, since they're both completely, the same up until this line here, I'm thinking, should I just maybe do a v5? Should I just do something like v5 extras? And it says bitmap v5 header is an extended version of bitmap info header. So if I go in this, it's size, width, height, planes, bit count, compression, size, image, pixels per meter, CLR used, CLR important, CLR used, color indices. Specifies the number of color. I'm not gonna use this. Okay, then we have that guy, and we have there is core header. So let's see if bitmap info header is extension of bitmap core header. So I don't think so. Maybe they're different. Bitmap core header. B width, height, planes, and bit count. For planes and bit count, yeah, they look to be all. Then v4 header. Should I have like a core header then? Well, let's do each of them separately. I'm gonna just implement all of them and just get rid of the, not even think about it anymore, right? So that's it. That's gonna be the best. Structs, attribute. Again, it needs to be packed, right? Packed. And then bitmap. I will do bits per pixel. So core header doesn't have any kind of good information for me. So I think nobody will use core header. No images will ever have only core header there. I mean, all of them have core header because all of them has this bits per pixel, right? Bit count. But he's saying like bits per pixel, compression, size of bitmap, horizontal resolution, and vertical resolution. What the hell is horizontal and vertical resolution? Sorry about bad words. Hell, is that considered to be horse resolution? Colors used. Colors important. What's this? Pixels per meter. Wow. Pixels per meter. Okay, that's probably something for printing, right? I'll just take whatever is he offering me here. So we have, let's see if everything is correct. We always need to check the AI. It's not really, it's probably correct here. So we have size, then we have integer, width and height. It's interesting that this can be negative, right? So let's see why. Specifies the width of the bitmap in pixels. Okay, and height is for uncompressed RGB bitmaps. If bitmap height is positive, the bitmap is a bottom-up deep with the origin at the lower left corner. If BI height is negative, the bitmap is a top-down deep with the origin at the upper left corner. So this can be negative. So if it's positive, the origin is, I'll write this down in the comment. Okay, I'll write this down because I forget it. So that's bits per pixel. So this can be, what are they saying? Bit count specifies the numbers of bits per pixel for uncompressed. This value is the average number of bits per pixel. What the hell? Average. For uncompressed formats, this value is the average number of bits per pixel. So for compressed video, this member is a 4cc code, okay? The word in little endian order. For uncompressed, the following values are possible. And remarks. And the bitmap into surface stride. How do I calculate stride? Let's do like this. What is he doing here? So it's I need to have it right, so we will do fine. Calculate bitmap stride. So the parameter is width and bits per pixel. Okay, let's see this. 2 to the 30 is shift right 8. Yes, that's correct. So see, they say shift right by 3 bits, right? That's 2 on the third, it's 8. Divide by 8, it's the same thing. So let's see bitmap. So what is he doing? I don't understand. So it says width of the image times bits per pixel plus 31. So this gives us the bits in, oh, come on now. This, oh, come on. This here, right? This part here, width times bits per pixel gives us the width in bits. Okay? And then he adds 31 bits per onto that. And then he ends that with not 31, not 31. What's gonna be not 31? Where's my calculator? Okay, so we have 31 in binary. How do I see that? It's 5 ones, right? And not 31 is gonna be zeros here and ones everywhere else. Ah, okay, so he is aligning it to 32 bytes, right? I see, he's aligning it to 32 bytes and then he divides it by 8. Okay, I understand, because he wants to get back. But why he's dividing it by 8? Because that's number of bits in byte, right? So we want to get back bytes. Okay, I understand now, right? So I'll just write myself a comment in here because this is kind of interesting, right? Calculates how many bits in a line there is. There is, so that's times bits per pixel. And rounds it to the nearest multiple of 32. That's okay. Then divide it by 8 to get cool. Okay, thank you, AI. Okay, so this is how we get bitmaps right. And then we have let's see what he will do. Bitmap file header. No, I don't want this. So then we have again struct attribute blah blah backed, right? And bitmap. Thank you, bitmap v4 header, but let's get back there to bitmap v4 header so I can see it. Increase this. Zoom in. So I'll accept your stuff. Let me simple. I want to see if he used the same name. So we have size, width, and height, planes, bits per pixel, compression, size of bitmap, horizontal resolution, vertical resolution, colors used, colors important. Okay, and now we have red mask, green mask, blue mask, alpha mask. CS type, red X, red Y, red Z, red Z, green X, green Y, green Z, Y, Y. Format. I'm looking what is red X, green X, and blue X's are, right? That doesn't make sense to me. So the red mask valid only if BVF for compression, if compression is set to. I'm gonna support only uncompressed formats, so it's, I ever wonder, do I need to then have uh, so if I support only uncompressed formats, and this is perfectly fine for me, they can say bits per pixel. I'll compress this value. Is there any limit on it? Bit count? No. Specifies the size. This can be set 0 for to 0 for uncompressed. Yeah, I actually don't need to use that. So why not? Because there's in here we have this bitmap offset, right, which tells us where in the file, and I think that's from the beginning of the file, is the data, and this here tells us size, width, height, and bits per pixel. So it will be either 8, 16, 24, 32 bits per pixel. And I'll also check the compression field. So if it needs to be RGB for me, right? So what's the definition? MSDN BIRGB. Do I have that anywhere? Bisexual flag color codes. It's here, RGB. The bitmap 148 16 24 32. Is it a string BIRGB? Bisexual. Can I search it in here? No results. For compressed, this member is a 4. For uncompressed, the following values are possible. For 16 bits, big compression, the format is always FBI compression. use the subtype GUID. And let's just see this field here. Super quit, that's closed. This field here. A bitmap offset, is that the offset from the start of the file, or is it an offset from bitmap file header structure, right? Yeah. Offset in bytes from the beginning of the bitmap file header. That's start of file, right? Okay, just load it. So I want to what I need. How much memory do we need? We need memory that can fit bitmap file header and memory that can fit bitmap info header. So that's it. I think we should use size t for this one. Size t headers header size of bitmap info header. That's it. And I need to push that to memory arena, right? So I can say void header size assert to have header not null, right? And f-read returns, what f-read returns? Size t. Okay. Size t numret f-ret header 1 header size. Okay, and then I'll assert that numerate is header size. So maybe I will have better error handling, but much later. Now, size of this must be struct. Okay. And now I have them red. And now I can inspect where in my file. Let's first extract the width and height and bits per pixel. So which formats I'm gonna support? I'm gonna support, so bitmap will not, if it's I'll support only 24 or 32-bit formats for now. Because if it's not either 24 or 32, let me show, then we need to support 16. So 8 bits is, I think, always, if bits per pixel is 8 bits, BI count. For 16 BPP bitmaps, if BI compression equals BI RGB, the format is always RGB 555. That's 15, isn't it? If BI compression equals BI bit fields, then format is either RGB 55 or RGB 565. Use the subtype GUID. Yeah, I have everything, I believe. I'm doing a stupid mistake here, right? So I shouldn't load this in a memory arena. I don't know why I did that. I should load this into my local stack, right? Should I alloc A? Is that bad to do alloc A? Or should I do two rates? Yeah, let's do it like this. So I will say struct bitmap file header. Yeah, and we'll set it to null. Okay. And I will say struct bitmap info header. Okay. And then I'll say that size t numRead is f-rated file header, size of struct bitmap file header 1, right? I'll set that numRead is 1. Because again I see something strange, so f-read, so they say it return on success f-read the number of items read or written size is 1, and in our case size is not 1. Okay, then we have numRead is f-read at info header, right? 1 size of, that seems fine, and then again I will search numRead is 1. Okay, so now I don't need this, right? Okay, now I push their bitmap. Bitmap is pushed to arena. Okay, and I will say one other thing I need to assert, right? So in the header, in the core, in the file header, we need to have BM. Must be BM. Okay. How do I do that? Yeah, 4D42. That's it. It's smarter than me. 4D42. And what else? Size, the size in bytes of the bitmap file. Okay, that's probably not so useful. Maybe I'll have it, right? So I have this push to arena, and then I will say that yes, bitmap equals info header with bitmap heat equals info Oh, header height. Okay. Ball top down is top down. Right, and then I say if info header height negative, it must be -1 times info header height. Otherwise, it's just info header height. That should work. And why is this guy not? What's wrong with this expected identifier? So I have a bitmap, right? And it's bitmap type of star bitmap. Don't understand why. At this moment, I just don't see a problem here. So I'll continue. It's 16. I'll then specify this to be uint32. I'll just make them all uint32. This will be uint32 as well. It's not the best structure, but it is a structure. And this is okay, right? Expected identifier or bitmap. Ah, yeah, just couldn't see it. Okay, bitmap width and height. So we have bitmap alignment, right? Is 4. Okay, and here I will also assert that info header dot bits per pixel is equal, yeah, this top down is gonna be used later. Okay. And because if it's top down, I always want to be bottom up, right? So, okay, we have bitmap alignment, and then we have bitmap. Yeah, I need to set that. Non-channels is, so now if bits per pixel, so info header bits per pixel is 24, then it's 3, otherwise it's 4. Then let's assert this here. Why here? Because it kind of belongs together, right? Yeah, okay. So that's it. My bitmap is at this point almost full except for data. And I believe that the data size is set somewhere. Just notice that my head is clipped on my streams. So data size is size of bitmap, I guess, but that is 0 if bitmap is compressed, right? So they said it's 0 if bitmap is compressed. Let's see that. Bitmap info header. Specify the number of bytes required. That structure. size. Specify the size in bytes of the image. This can be set to 0 for uncompressed RGB bitmaps. This can be set to 0 for uncompressed. So for uncompressed bitmaps, it is 0. And for compressed bitmaps, it is gonna be set. So I can't, since I'm always using uncompressed bitmap, right? Actually, we should check that. So we should assert that, what is it, compression info header, compression equals BIRGB, right? And what is, let's see what BIRGB to 0, right? I guess it's just gonna be like that. Okay, so I'll debug this anyway. We will see what the compression is there. Okay, that's it. Bitmap width and bitmap height. And now I know I can calculate how much I entered it to data size. Data size is right times bitmap height. That's correct. And I want to allocate the data, assert that data is not null, and just why would I do? Why would I go with arrow? Okay, and now I want to perhaps switch it around. If it's a top-down image. Let's see how to do that. So it's a bitmap info header. Height is gonna be for uncompressed. If BI height is positive, the bitmap is bottom up. The origin at the lower left corner. So that probably means that the first byte in memory is my first so if it is not top down, that's it. And then I always need to seek it there, right? I always need to seek a file there. So I will always want to go to the location where my bitmap offset is, right? But what I want, if it's not top down, I can just read it, right? What is here recommended? If it's not top down, I can simply read it. I don't need to. I think I can simply read it then, right? So fread into bitmap data, one data size file. I need to consult my fread again. So the function fread size reads n member items of data, each size bytes long. F read return the number of items read or written. This number equals the number of bytes transferred only when size is 1. I think we have an error. So the first parameter is size and the second one is number of members. Number of items, right? And they are returning number of items. So the bug, I think, is here, right? Yeah, so it needs to be the other way around. Right, so the size of a structure, yeah, okay. Get the space and paste here. That's how it needs to be. So now I can say, oh, I've read like one structure, right? Right, that's how it needs to be. And in here, I can say I want to assert that numerate this data size, because this is what I actually want, right? And I can actually return bitmap here, but else now I want to read a row by row. So if it's top down, my first row must end up all the way to the down, right? So let's see how that works. So he is saying that the pointer to the row, okay, let me do this like this. Right, so I'm pointing to the last row and reading the first row into the memory allocated for the last row, and then I'm moving up the row and I'm moving down the epsilon. That seems fine. And now I can change to return bitmap. It should be this. Okay. I think that should work. That should work. I'm thinking, what? How do I test this? Super G, yes. Super enter, move right. This is Popwise. I've learned the keyboard shortcuts for manipulating windows. It's a tiled window manager, so I just couldn't remember what is the shortcut for making the window floating, right? It's Super G. I really like this system now since I've reintroduced myself to the tiling manager. And I can also quickly move between the windows using super left and right. And then if I have Firefox here, I can also change the how do I change it? Change the window size. Let's see, how do I change? I forgot, you see. Windows shortcuts, Super G is toggle floating mode. Stacking mode, close window maximize. That's very useful, Super M. And this one, Super Enter, move, increase window size and decrease window size. Okay, with this one, Super Enter, and I can then Shift. Yes, Shift. It's a bit clumsy, but it works. Okay, and if I move the zoom level to something normal, that's normal for me, but probably can't see it very well, then I can actually fit a lot of content on this main window. Plus I have other two windows, which is great. Displays, I'm talking about displays, not windows. Okay. And let's show this Super M is maximized. And further on, I can use F11 to do a full screen here. That works nicely. It's just a better system. So let us build this. So it's scripts with capital S now, and it's do I need to maybe no, I just need to build debugger. You are not in the project root directory. Okay, I've renamed my directory from scripts with lowercase to scripts with capital case. That's because I wanted it to be more in line with other directory names, so everything is in capital case. I just like it like that. I've left the build directory to be like this, but now if you remember, we did the script where he's checking for existence of this file, but with relative path, right? So that's how we know, right, if a file is, if we are in the root project directory. It's a very simple check. We just need to save this and then fix this, I guess, as well. And probably this one as well. Okay, so I can quit this. Oh no, it's clumsy me. I've closed my editor. So it's I still am trying to get used to it's lean Pacman, right? Yeah, and find and I also need GL graphics, right? Yes. And I need to find GL text image and remove highlights and Control S, which is for making the stuff smarter for my auto completion. What were I doing? I wanted to compile this. So dot scripts build debug pacman. It worked. One other problem is that we don't have any kind of bitmap, right? So let's make it. At first, I've been streaming this already for 1 hour. I think I'll take a short break and then get back to it. Or no. You know what? I'll just do it. So, just do it. So I've set there's a file test BMP, which should be it will be in the same directory from where I am starting it. But let's look at our directory structure. So I'm always starting my stuff from root directory here. And I have this assets directory now where I have a pacman direct subdirectory in it. So I can, just for compliance sake, put it in assets pacman test BMP. That's fine. That looks good to me. And I'm gonna load up 32. No, is it 16 by 16? Yes, 16 by 16 bitmap file, and we'll create test BMP file for that. So we'll create special test file. So I use a sprite. I've built it locally, but I actually bought a license for it. It's just irritating that I need to download Steam in order to download this. So that's not for me. 16. I did it on Windows where I actually played some games, but I don't use it here. So I'm gonna put the backgrounds. It's 16 by 16 pixels. What do we have? Square pixels. Very strange option. I need to check what that is. So we can use colored, color palette by having this index here. But I'm using RGB. And it says it's gonna be 32 bits per pixel, so we'll see that. Okay. And what I want some really basic colors. I think I can add color. I want my red, purely red. Right. Add that to palette. Then I want pure green. Pure green. Add that. I want pure blue. Just blue. Add that. And this one is already white, right? Full white. I have it. Okay. This will be our test colors, right? So I need to go to brush mode, and I'll put, so on the lower left corner I'll put this like this: red, green, blue, and on top right corner, top left corner, I'll again put red, green, blue, and I'll put like a red, green, and blue here, and I'll do something a bit different there: red, green, and blue. So, you know, if you have this basically, then you can be sure that your separate channels like red, green, and blue are working correctly, right? If they are showing in this way. But I also want to do, let's say, white. Then I want to maybe have a combination of So red and green, that's yellow, pure yellow. Okay. And maybe a combination of red and blue, that's gonna be pure purple, if I'm not mistaken. It's here. And a combination of green and blue. I think that covers everything, right? Red and green, red and blue, green and blue. Yep, that should. And what's this? That's cyan color, is it? I don't know. Yeah, okay. And that will just show us that, you know, we are correct. Another thing we can do, kind of, do like a small text D. Something like this. I'm trying to write test somehow. Let's try to write test, and I can copy this. It's a really good tool for mostly TST, and maybe this is probably the best pixel editor, and we will use it for a long time until we get to a place where we need to use 3D editors, right? Okay, so that's TSD, right? So I see this. It's. Let's make it even. I know it's really not so important, but let's try to make this like nice. How can I know if this is centered? I can't, right? Brush here, something like. Okay. That's our. It just bothers me. It just bothers me. I can't handle it. This is not centered. Will it be centered if I move it here? No. What about here? No, it can't be centered. It can't be centered, people. We need one more pixel, I believe. So there's 2 pixels from this side and 3 pixels from that side. How can I make this centered? I can't. Never mind. Doesn't matter anymore. I'm just gonna go over it. Just don't think about it. What about this guy here? So there's how many pixels on this side? It's 6 pixels, right? And how many pixels on this side? It's 6. This one is centered, that's right. But here the TSD is not centered. Anyway, let's continue. So yeah, we have black color shown. You know, white, red, green, blue, combination of red and green, which is yellow, combination of red and blue, which is purple, and combination of green and blue, which is cyan. And that's our guy, right? So I can export this to file. It's not gonna be PNG, it's gonna be test BMP, right? So I think I need to select here. It's gonna be just called test BMP. Okay. and export it. All frames, visible layers. There's no black pixel. Export for Twitter. What, Twitter has something special? Let's export that. Okay, and now this will not even be too hard to debug. It's just 16 by 16 pixels. This should work basically. Let's minimize the A sprite. Actually, you know what? I'll keep it somewhere on screen. So it's then super enter, then go here. And what was that keyboard shortcut for changing the direction? Change. Super enter. Super O. Ah, that's fine. You've already changed it for me. Then I can move it here. I want to see how it looks, right? So if I do see everything correctly, I mean, it's really not so complicated to see. But now, this is now fine. We have that the assets Pacman directory, right? Let's see it. Yeah. Test PNP. Okay. I wonder. I just need to know what will happen if NVM tries to load the test BMP file. Nothing smart. Okay, so let's go. So he just sees the binary, and now I know I will need to debug. That's why it's so hard for me to just build it and run it. Dot build debug games Pacman. Yes. Super G, please. Thank you. We can see the TST and I believe it's perfectly fine. The bitmap is working for now at least. What else to say, people? We have our bitmap loaded onto the screen. It is not best code possible because we don't support all the bitmap formats. We're just saying it's either 24 or 32 bits, and let's actually, I'm interested to see if we're loading everything in the right direction, so I'm interested in debugging it. I'll go full screen for this and switch not this one but this one, and then do a GDB queue. I'm not sure what, let's see what queue means, man. GDB, the option for queue. Let's search for option queue. Quiet, do not print the introductory and copyright messages. Okay, so that doesn't really matter. I've seen this somewhere, so I've seen it somewhere on YouTube that somebody is using this queue switch. Or was it some configuration from some plugin? Sure, Pacman. Pacman, and where I want to put my breakpoint. Let's see, I think it was in bitmap, right? File. It's a breakpoint in load bitmap. And I should be able to just say break load bitmap. Very nice, and run. Cool, and you can go away. Stop now. I'm completely broken now. That's bad. Force quit. Okay, so I guess we can't. We shouldn't do it in full screen. Yes. F11. At least I was saved by. So let's maximize it only. Do it again. And break at load. Break at a load bitmap. And run it. And now I want to make it a floating thingy. Actually, I can now minimize it, right? Yes, I can. And he says next. 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 Okay, let's see. Print file header. So file size is 822, reserve 00, and bitmap offset 54 bytes ahead. Okay, next. And let's see the info header. It's positive, right? So it says if it's positive, then it's a bottom up. Compression is 0. Colors use 0. Colors important. So there's no. And size of bitmap, that's 768. So let's see this. It's 16 times 3. Let me do some calculation. It's 16 times info header. What is it? Bits per pixel, right? Bits per pixel. And then he has added 31 to it, right? Plus 31. I want to see that calculation of a stride at not 31. And that's it. Sixteen times 24. What is my undefined? 16 times 24. Okay. Undefined command 16. Oh, yeah, I need to probably calculate some shell command, continue print, info, delete, and next step, fn, go frame, info, local. I have my reference for GDB here. Control XA, no, set history, set print pretty, confirm, watch. Not sure. Well, at least there's another command I can use. It's calculate 16. I can just open a calculator, then calculator. I can say 16 times 24 plus 31. Okay, and then wait, not 31. That was the idea. 384. And then divide by 8. 48 bytes. That's his stride. And 48 bytes is aligned to 4 bytes, right? Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. 48 has an alignment of 4 because I can divide by 4 without any remainder. 12, yes. Okay, then let's continue here. Next, what has third compression? So this was 0, right? So we can see here 0 compression. So that defined for BIRGB was fine. It's top down, which is gonna be false. Now print is top down, right? It's gonna be 0. Yeah. Then width 8, that's all fine. Alignment 4, yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing else, right? So we can see it in here and it's working. And we even have the sound again. Everything is working fine. Yeah, I can just super quit should work with that. Will it not? Super quit. No, escape then works. Okay. And I can now pin and quit and close this guy here. It looks like we did it. It's just that we need to. I will be more happy if I can, for example, test that bitmap which is bottom up, which is top down. That will be nice to see if that will work correctly. So let's do some documentation here. Note bitmaps are BMP is always aligned to 4 bytes. That's correct. Let's do some documentation about the structure. Control S. Alignment in bytes and be used by GL pixel store IE. With attacker in pixels, that's fine. 18 pixels, that's correct. Did I set the number of channels? And 1 for grayscale. And actual pointer to data. That's it. So none channels. Did I set it? I set it. And documentation for this function is load bitmap from file. Bitmap from file. Cool. So I'm loading a bitmap into memory arena. I'm thinking, should I maybe release it, right, somehow from memory arena? So I have in GL graphics, right, I am just temporarily loading it into memory arena. Where is it? Here, right, into temp arena, and that's fine because I can always release the memory somewhere. I didn't do it, so I need to do it somewhere in here, right? Free the memory, free them all, free them. But how should this be structured? Will I even use memory arena? So this is not my final stuff, right? There is still some things that I want to handle properly, right? Because I don't even want to load it from a file pointer, right? That's terrible. It's present in any standard library, but we will not use files in the end, right? We will maybe use some larger asset files, so I can't just load it, and it could be compressed or something like that, right? So there needs to be some way of doing it in some other way. So it won't get loaded from file pointer, it will get loaded from something else, something that's controlled by the engine. But it will be loaded into an arena. And in order for me to reuse this arena for many different bitmaps, I need to release, so let's say I have an arena for 1 megabyte like this, right? And I'm loading a bunch of bitmaps, right? I will no longer have any memory if I'm just gonna keep loading, because the memory arena will get full. Yeah, I can always release memory arena, that we don't care about it, right? But what if I have like 50, 60 or 100 of large bitmaps here loaded, right, in the same memory arena? So there should be a way for me to kind of free the bitmap from memory arena. And that call should be it needs to know what the size of the bitmap is. So we should also return the size. Size of memory used in the arena, right? Thinking, is that the best way to do it? So this version of function loads the bitmap and it uses arena to do that. So I would probably just add like a suffix arena version of the function, right? And I can then I can say here size t our arena memory used is 0, and then he can return that to me, right? This. Do I like this? I mean, the simplest, the stupidest way I could do this is just to kind of take the arena, right? And what's the key? What's the definition? It has size and used, right? So I can go back here and I can just say like this, right? So arena used is temp arena used, right? And then after I'm done with the memory, with all the loading, I can just say I mean temp arena used is arena used, right? So I can maybe rename this to change word arena marker like this, right? I mean, who cares, right? So that's we just remove. We just say if somebody else wants to use the arena, right? We can just say like, okay, just here's the. I'm gonna remove that stuff. I just discard it, right? We don't care about it. It's just some kind of cache, right? Memory, and just yeah. Can I make this nicer? So that could be a part of the API, right? So let's see if we can make this nicer. What was it? The file name was bitmap, right? Buffer next. Yeah, that's bitmap. So we have memory arena here, push to arena, pop from arena. Guess we could have like a function. Yeah, okay. I'll also accept. It's not gonna be used. We can have a function like. So the AI is recommending me to add a function called clear arena, where I just set the arena used to 0, which is fine. Okay, I can add that function. But I'm thinking, will I use it like anywhere? You know, I don't want to add functions that are not gonna be used, if that makes sense. But I would definitively like a function that can explain what I'm doing here, right? So, you know, because this could be a bit, how to say, maybe people will be, why are you saving this temporina here, temporina used, and then setting that back. Maybe people will not get it if I don't add some comments, right? So it could be probably easier to maybe have a function that, or a defined macro that, you know, marks the position and arena, and then reset arena to that position. That's actually quite nice name, right? And I can say a static inline void mark arena position. What are you doing? So we have const, it's gonna, we're not changing it, right? Memory arena. What is he doing? No, I don't want that, right? So I want ink marker is probably a good name, but let's see. So I want uint 32. A marker is good name. Then let's see what he will figure out. Yep, that's correct. And there will be a static inline void reset arena position. Is it gonna be a reset? Okay, he wants to assert that marker is arena. Okay, that's fine. And that's it. I think this now makes like a nicer API, because I can now say DS and mark arena position. What was his recommendation for name? Get arena marker. This should be position. E mark arena position like this. Temp arena position. Yeah, it's better to have like a then reset arena position. Yeah, that I like that. Arena position. Let's see, 0. Okay, and save that. Go here. Change these names, markers. Marker. Into, should we change it into position, right? Right. Next. That's it. Okay, I think that's fine. And now let's just create build and run it again. And what is it? Super G. Yeah. You know what? Since I'm always just a second, how to. I'm always using this thing. So it's gonna be backed for a long time, so I can add it to floating window exceptions. Select. Where is my Pacman window? This one. add these apps windows. Yes. That's it now, so I now have it right. And these guys. Window M, why are you now? Shift, make it larger, make it smaller. Go there, go there, go there. Yeah, I broke my window maximize. Enter, window maximize. Where am I here? Is this still working? Scripts working. Backman working, and he is now working as a window exception. This looks fine to me. It's a really small sprite. I can actually resize it, right? So now we can see the full glory of our powerful graphical engine. It gets the color correctly, that's his job. And so now if I... What am I doing? Why did I press Alt M instead of Super M? So this thing here needs to go here. I can drag it. Then I don't want this guy. Why are you now here? I don't understand that. I need to go somewhere else. Okay. And you need to go out of this side here. And then you need to go here. And you need to go here. Finally. But I do have the Pac-Man now. And you can be larger. Yes, yes, yes. I'm getting the hang of this. Anyway, for today, I think this is enough. Because I'm already tired. I must say I'm no longer young, so 1 hour of coding is perfectly enough for me. And this was really nice. We have some kind of sprite capability. But next time I will generify the asset loading. Correct. So do I do that yet? No. But I have a current problem that I have. Okay. Let's see what's the problem in bitmap. We've defined our memory arena here. This is definitely a no-go. Then other thing we are loading from a file. Again. No way. This is not happening. So I'm not passing in into a game a function that takes a file pointer, right? So no. So even on our on the engine level, we will not work with file pointers. That's for me, that's really bad. So what I want to do some kind of a structure, more generic one, something like a type def struct, right? An input stream, which will have pointers to, for example, a pointer to let's say type def, let's say size t, and it will be a read pointer function to eStream read, for example, read from input stream from iStream. Okay, and then that function can have it needs to have pointer to itself, input stream pointer eStream, right? And it needs to have a void times buffer, and it will just take the size, because that thing in standard library with number of members and size, that's just nonsense. Okay, and then you would have a function need to forward it like this, struct input stream. That's it. And yeah, it needs to be input stream again. There, this is recommending. Change till as input blind input stream. That's what he's complaining about. So this will have pfn read from input stream read. That's fine. I don't care about user data here. Do I? Yeah, I need to have a void pointer client data. Yeah, client data. You're so smart. What's the recommendation, J? Pointer to the client data. Yes, pointer to the client data. For example, file. Right. And you have also it will have like a seek function, probably seek. I must seek, definitely seek. And then we will have external functions to open and close input stream. And that's it. And we will probably have, or even better, we can just have a better idea is to simply have a function to, you know, let's say void read from input stream. Cool. Void what did I do? Input stream, right? So we can have function like that. We can have seek input stream. Right. We can have that's it. We don't need anymore. Yeah, but basically don't need anymore. And then we could have a function that, let's say, gives you back input stream pointer, and you could have like an open input stream construct file name. Yeah, that's fine. And you could have like you know, special handling for stuff. Let's say you can have open, then you can have input stream open input stream for you can have from memory. You can have input stream open input stream. Yeah, that's also there's a lot of good recommendations from. No, that's not what I mean. So you can have like open stream from gzip, for example, gzip file, right? Or open stream input stream from asset file, right? So that's the idea, what I want to accomplish in the next stream. So move memory arena outside, make stuff for input streams, and then I'm still thinking about the input stream. So if I do it like this, if I return it like this, right, then we need to allocate memory. I don't like that. We need to allocate memory. We need to say malloc somewhere. Because the structure is opaque, right? So we don't know what the members are. So we need to allocate memory from somewhere. And yeah, I could pass in memory arena, but that would not be good for this thing. So then maybe the structure shouldn't be opaque. It should probably be something like this. Then def struct stream. It needs to have pointer client data, but it also needs to have something like uint32t type. Can we pass that in the client data? I want to avoid memory allocation. Malloc. Ideally, I will have only one memory allocation per file, per project. I will have, I'll take 5 megabytes of RAM or whatever. Maybe even lesser, I'm thinking like 128 kilobytes or something like that. And then I will, just use that memory all around my program. But input streams could be different. They'll never be used by the game. They'll never ever be used by the game. I will not allow the game code to use the input streams. Never ever. That's not gonna happen in my code. Well, I should never say never, but it's not gonna happen in my code. I would definitely want to avoid it. You know what? I'll see how to design this when I get there, right? So probably a waste of time to think about that now until we actually have some correct usage somewhere. Another thing I want to add, maybe we can do that first. Load part of bitmap. Like this, and the definition is fine. I'm just thinking, should the epsilon go from top, right? It should, right? Everybody is saying that the epsilon is from top. So if you go, let's say, to this a sprite, right? And if I go somewhere in this image, and if I put the cursor somewhere, right, it says 0, 0, then it's 0, 1. Doesn't say, and for this one it's 0, 15, you see. So the images are always from top. So epsilon 0 is at top, while epsilon, the larger the epsilon, the closer to bitmap, to the bottom, right, is load part of bitmap from file. Note epsilon is top, positive epsilon is top down. Can you give me completion, you smart guy? Positive epsilon is top down. Okay, and a function, this function is very similar to the load bitmap function. The difference is that it's not gonna go through all the epsilons, and we can't use this here anymore. So I just can't use this anymore. I need to actually read it more carefully, right? So okay, oh, that's one other problem, right? So no, this is fine. So let's do everything like we did here, all the way to here somewhere, right? To here, young till a. Let's do it like that. Let's paste it in here. This is there's no space. Okay. Turn bitmap. Okay. Is top down and just variable. Data size is not that. Data size in this case is width times height. Let's also assert that our if width greater than info header width you know, I want to cap it. This comparison of integer of different signs. Okay, I see. I converted it to uint here so I can compare it with bitmap, right? Okay, and if height is greater than bitmap height, as I have an error here, so it must be if x plus width, right? If x plus width equals or greater than bitmap width, we need to decrease the width, right? For example, how to do that? Then width is info is bitmap width minus x, right? If so, epsilon is top down. If epsilon plus height is bitmap height minus epsilon, that's gonna make them completely equal. If x is greater than width or epsilon is greater than width, what do I do then? Do I just return? I can't copy anything, right? I can say assert that x is lesser than width. I will not allow it to be assert that x is smaller than, I can say it here, right? Assert x this one and assert this one. Okay. And now I can specify this. Cool. And now the data size. This is gonna be terrible. I'm not sure about the strike, what will be the alignment there. If I say that data size is width times height times, it's just bitmap non-channels, right? So then in that case, my alignment is actually 1, right? All right. because yeah, that's it. That's how it's gonna work. Its alignment is just 1. I can't do anything about it, so I would like to be the line to 4, but I won't create new bytes just to align it. So BMP is always aligned to 4 bytes, but now we load a part of BMP. So we align it. So we align to 1 byte. Okay, and now we will say that bitmap data push to arena data size. We will assert this not to be null, and now it's our logic, right? So how can I make this nicer? So if it's not top down, right? So then we the first it's bottom up basically, right? Now it's easier to do top down thing first, right? I can have like u int 32 current epsilon, right? Current epsilon, and say that is 0. And so it's easier to do top down now. Is top down we will increase the current epsilon each time. So current epsilon is always epsilon at the beginning, correct? Just a second. How to do this? It's a bit tricky. Let me copy this thing here. Young. Now it's visual, then young. Then paste it in here, right? Map height -1, bitmap data. It's not bitmap height, it's y. It's y -1. That's right. Okay. I need to think this through. I can't. So if it's top down, I need to draw this on my tablet to see what's happening here. I don't know what's confusing. It's confusing the memory layout itself, right? So if it's bottom, if it's not top down, then the first row is the last row in the actual image, right? And if it's top down, then the first row of memory, so first byte is top left, right? But if it's not top down, then the first byte is bottom left. like in OpenGL. So in case of top right, if it is top down, right? Let's do it this way. It is top down. Then first byte is top left corner, top down images, right? In top down BMP. We calculate the offset to the first byte. That's correct, first row. So that is uint32 offset. It's not bitmap height. It's just why are you doing this? Not bitmap height. So it's a y times stride plus so we can how did we do it there? That equals so it's uint 8 row equals uint 8 pointer bitmap data plus y times stride, right? So that's it. That's the pointer to the row, right? And now we have just a second. Okay, so now we have this and we can go byte by byte in an X, right? So I can use memcopy, I guess. So we can track how much we copied. We can do this. We can say uint 8. We need to track where are we in the data, right? Target is bitmap data. Okay, we track where are we in the data, and then we will do a memcopy to target, and we say let's see row plus x times bitmap channels. What width? Okay, the size, right? But why is it row plus x times bitmap channels? That's that correct? Yeah, I think it is actually, right? And this variable, we're not gonna use the global epsilon, we're gonna use cur epsilon, and that is gonna be for u int 32. The cur epsilon is epsilon, right? And while cur epsilon is less than plus height, we can say plus plus cur epsilon, okay. And we are just copying this thing over. How do I have to format it? Escape. Okay. Call to undeclared function main copy. Okay, and now we say target plus equals width times bitmap null channels, right? So we've moved the target up. That should work for the case if it is top down. Where is the tab mem copy? Where's that declare? Void name copy. It's in string cage, okay. So there's absolutely no need to encode string cage unless we use it here. Okay. And if I say I can just test do both ways, right? So it doesn't matter. So for test, right, I'm gonna just do it in both ways. So let's see where's the variable. I can comment it out for. Okay. Write it down and go into GL graphics and then say, instead of load bitmap, we can say this out and say bitmap BMP is load part of bitmap from file temporina, and I'll load entire bitmap but with this function, right? Uh, 16 by 16, and this will probably fail. Yeah, definitely doesn't work. Well, at least I have something on screen, right? So that's good sign. The colors are all messed up. They are completely messed up. What if I say I want 4 by 4? I'm not sure. I don't even have in my mind what part of image am I gonna see, right? So this is definitely not good. So I can see some something, but it's not good. Yeah, anyway, I need to leave now. I can debug that next time. Next part bitmap debug. Is there anything in here that I am missing? The first thing, I guess I should do the logic for else case. So I believe that in that case, the bottom, so what is it? First byte is the lower byte, lowest row, is in the lowest row, right? And I think this will be fine. Then if I just say something like height mean -1, right? Change word height -1, and if we are while we are larger than or equal to epsilon minus height, we should decrease it, right? So that's, in that case, we are kind of going, so it's not height -1, sorry, it's height minus epsilon. We are going up. And we're copying everything. I guess, I think I'm not copying enough data. Maybe the problem is with copyright, so. Row is bitmap data plus current epsilon times stride. And stride contains also bits per pixel. This will require some debugging. So let's see if I say I want basically 16 by 16 image, right? Even though I'm using code part of bitmap, we could say in the function itself that it then automatically use this other thing. I'm still getting some very wrong stuff, very incorrect. So we need to debug why. Well, obviously, it's not 16 by 16, right? I mean it is in this case, but I remembered now that we need to not set the info header height, but set the width and height from this, right? Word. Then I can't assert these guys anymore. But I need to do my assertion somehow differently. I guess I can do it somewhere in here. Right. Info header with that should be converted into uint32. That should always be positive. I think it's safe to convert it in here. That's not safe to convert. Right, so we need to do something. Like that's correct. Let's let's do here absolute height. Then remove this guy. Still absolute height. Back. Replace with E. Replace with E, and this one is the info header width should be converted. That's safe to convert, but this one will be absolute height. That one is not that absolute. Why absolute? Absolute height. Back. Change till width. Info header width -x. Info header height -epsilon. Okay. That is something that I think is fine. Stop down, info header. So I'm never converted, right? So info header for me is constant, so I don't write to it. And then something is wrong with this, right? data size is width times height times bitmap node channels, and I say that alignment is 1. That's what I like. The colors are completely messed up. Completely messed up. Okay, I'll debug this. Next time we'll debug this and and finally I believe we will be able to finish with this, and then I'll do all the stuff. For example, I'll move the memory arena. I'll make a distinction between the engine code, so everything that's an engine service will go into separate files. Like memory arena is an engine service; it gives it to the client, but he doesn't actually. Oh, how to say that? So, like input streams and loading of bitmaps, that's engine thing. I don't want that my game ever tells the engine, I want this bitmap. My game will tell to the engine I want this sprite. And the engine will do itself whatever he can to find the sprite wherever he needs to find the sprite. And the sprite can be either a single bitmap, entire sprite in one bitmap, or it can be in a sprite sheet. Engine will know, right? The game will just ask for it. I want sprite. The game will say load sprite. It will never say load bitmap. That's the final target I want to accomplish, right? But we need to do these functions. We need to have them. And instead of file pointer, as I said, we will use our own structure. It's gonna be some kind of input stream implementation. And this is going to be completely in the engine. This is never gonna be called directly by the game, right? So the game will say, give me sprite, and for other type of resources we will have sound, right? So the game will say, give me sound, and we will have unique identifiers for sprite. Maybe it will be like a Pac-Man left, or Ghost 1, or Ghost 2, or whatever. That's unique identifiers for sprite, but the game itself will never need to know in which file that is, right? The game itself will never load from bitmap, will never open a file, never do anything of that. We're going towards that direction, but I need to first get this thing right. So it's kind of a complicated code because I don't have it drawn, right? So I will need to draw it out to see, okay, where I'm doing mistakes. But I think one single debug run will fix this after that. Okay, I'm gonna end the stream now. It's been a long time. Thank you, bye.